I thought I was happy, and I was miserable. And I knew something was wrong because I got this amazing opportunity with this travel company, Kentucky, to go to Thailand, Australia, and New Zealand. And I know I keep saying this, but what a selfish, pretentious asshole to be in Australia and be miserable.
Yeah.
To be making money and be miserable, to work for myself. And I wouldn't say I hated my life. I wasn't suicidal. I was just empty. I was laying in bed, staring at my phone. I wasn't happy. Actually, this is kind of the first time I've ever really, really shared this. And it was like that for a long time. It wasn't like, I was like kind of sad for like an afternoon. It was like for 6 months, I like didn't want to get out of bed. Like for a hard, long 6 months. And I went, I saw a doctor, and he started talking to me about like my ADHD and depression, and I started taking a pill. It didn't really work. I got into meditation. That helped a lot. It didn't solve it. Pills helped, but didn't solve it. It's not one thing. It's your entire life. And I wasn't doing anything to make me happy. I was doing things to get views.
The Todd Shapiro Show on SiriusXM Channel 168, Canada Laughs.
YouTubers are blowing up, man, and we know a lot of them. We're friends with a bunch of them. We know this Matthew Santoro always seems to be in some sort of controversy or another. We know Michael McCrudden very well, who's just blowing up. I've been friends with Furious Pete for almost a decade now, when he used to come on the old show before YouTube was even around. And it's just interesting to watch what's going on in the Canadian world of YouTube, really, especially now with the YouTube space, for the creators to go at 10,000 minimum subscribers. And when they had to launch, I met our next guest, and this guy really is one talented mofo, I'll tell you that much. Corey Vidal, how you doing, Corey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm really good. You've been doing YouTube like before you were even born. You've been doing this for a long time.
It's my 10th year doing YouTube. Yeah, I joined in 2006.
Does that amaze people when you tell them that? Like, aren't they like, YouTube's been around for a decade?
I like saying it. Yeah, it feels good to say.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started YouTubing, and it was like 2008, to be like, I've been on it since 2006 didn't really mean anything. It means something now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years.
Fantastic. So when you started, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Fuck.
I started at 19, which even 10 years ago, I was older then than a lot of the biggest YouTube stars now. There's people that are like massive A-listers that are like 16.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I saw some of that craziness because I went to VidCon and or Playlist Live. I went to that one.
Oh yeah, I saw you there.
And it was like they're like the Beatles. Like they're like Justin Bieber. They're huge. It's crazy. So you at 19 you start. What was your original thought to going on to YouTube? Why did you want to go there?
So I cared about filmmaking specifically. I didn't know that there were YouTubers. There wasn't really such a thing as a YouTuber. There was definitely no YouTube celebrities. Nobody was making any money. And I wanted to go and work in Canadian film and television, but I didn't want to work in film or television. So it was like this weird contradiction in that I wanted to be making videos with my friends. That's what I love doing. And we put a lot of work into it. There was just no money. And so when YouTube came out, I mean, there was still no money. It wasn't owned by Google, but I just saw that as this website where I could share my content with the world. And so I uploaded it, and I remember uploading my first video and going to bed. And the YouTube homepage used to say, this is so long ago, it used to be like most recently uploaded videos as like a tab. And it was like, this video was most recently uploaded like 17 minutes ago.
That's like, because there were so few coming in. That's crazy.
And so people have comments like, hey, I just saw that you uploaded this video to YouTube, because it was one of the only videos uploaded today.
Wow, that blows my mind.
Now there's over 400 hours of video uploaded every 60 seconds.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, Brody?
It's amazing.
That's so many people.
So I put up like my very first video. I mean, when I was in high school, I made videos with my friends.
Okay.
I was never really into like the jackass type, like punked pranks with your friends, being idiots. I was more nerdy. I wasn't punk enough. I wasn't cool enough to like do jackass pranks with my friends. I was really into Star Wars. And so I wanted to like be a Jedi, and I wanted to like have lightsaber fights. And so my friends and I, we would film it, and we would like do the visual effects and like have like lightsabers, but like do like high-end visual effects. And I used to burn it on DVD and physically hand it to somebody. So when something like YouTube comes out, I'm like, great, I can upload it and send people that I know in real life the link, because that's all I was thinking about, because there was no such thing as a YouTuber, and I can't fathom why a stranger would watch me. But I upload my first video to YouTube, and a couple strangers watched me. And those strangers said, make more. Some of them said, like, go kill yourself, or you're an idiot, or I hate you. And other people were like, that was great, make more. Yeah. And so I started making videos for strangers. And this is a time when, like, everybody has MySpace, and Facebook is just barely starting to come out.
That is wild. So you're one of the originators, one of the pioneers, and people and strangers are catching the videos and watching them and requesting more. And I can tell you, the videos, when I watch your videos, and you nailed it, man. When you are so focused on the production value, which is pretty rare, at least in those days in the YouTube world. And now I think people are really getting involved in it, but it's still not quite the quality. Like, I would say, if there was a scale or a gauge on who has the best produced videos in YouTube, at least from the ones that I've watched, you would be the number one.
Wow.
Like, you would be the number, because but there's not really a lot of other guys doing frame for frame videos with Justin Bieber with the exact sets, or right. You know, or like the editing, the quality, the sound, like it's right. all and you're a professional filmmaker, and that's part of it, right?
Well, yeah. First of all, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's hard because I love hearing that, because we're not A-listers. I'm not an A-lister. For anybody listening, I don't have millions of subscribers. I have hundreds of thousands.
Dude,
there's people that are.
Okay.
Yeah, I have hundreds of millions of views. There are people with billions of views. But see. For the people joining YouTube now, there are people for them to look up to. They can go and emulate their success and be like, hey, I want to be the next Matthew Santoro. I want to be the next Lily Singh. I want to be the next Shay Carl or Philip DeFranco. But I wanted to be a filmmaker. I just happened to do it on YouTube, and there wasn't anybody to look at doing that. I just wanted my videos to look like Star Wars. So the only thing I was comparing it to was literally the Star Wars movies. And if it doesn't look like that, I'm disappointed. And so as I started making money on YouTube, which took years, I did it, for 2 whole years and made not a penny. And then when the partnership program came out in late 2007, early 2008, my first month, I made $3. By the end of that year, I had a Star Wars video go viral. That month, I made $60,000.
Wow. Well, it's funny. Not a lot of people will be open to talk about
people.
it. I appreciate it.
I had no... Because it's not because I did the right thing. It's because YouTube featured me.
Yep.
I didn't deserve it. It's not like, oh my God, I'm so clever. I did
No,
blank.
you did deserve it.
YouTube used to feature videos on the front page. When you go to youtube.com now, it shows you all kinds of random stuff. They used to pick a video and put it on the front page and leave it there.
It's a billboard at that point.
It was like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
And so YouTube happened to pick one of my videos and put it on the front page. And so I don't feel like it's me bragging. It felt like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
I woke up that morning and I had like 7,000 subscribers. I went to bed that night and I had 30,000 subscribers. Wow. And I got millions of views that day. And it just happened to me.
How many views will that video have now?
It has over 20 million.
20 million views. Yeah. So and you accumulate the money like all throughout the, like, as long as it keeps getting watched, right? So even though there's the one big month, but I mean that continues based on that video still growing.
Kind of like royalties. Like you could be a musical artist, you could make a song, and maybe your album comes out, but you could also hopefully be collecting royalties off of that for a really long time.
How does the ad stuff work? Like, do you even understand their algorithms? You get it?
I think a lot of YouTubers are. I've just always approached things with a really businessy mind. I couldn't help myself, and so when there were ads on my videos, I went and I pretended with permission. I went through the system on how can you go and put an ad on YouTube, and that's through Google AdWords.
Yeah.
And so I went and I tested it and did it myself, and I wanted to see how much money do I spend to put up an ad, and so I put up an ad for some of my T-shirts on my own videos.
Smart. Okay.
So I could see both sides of the system.
Very smart.
And so when advertisers advertise on my videos, I do know what they're doing, and it's this weird CPM thing, and all of the views. Nobody can tell you how much a view is worth. Every view is actually worth the different amounts. Like even one view to the next on the same video, you actually make, it's always fractions of pennies, but those fractions are actually worth different amounts. So when somebody says, oh, 1 million views is worth X, there's no way they can know that.
So I'll use me as an example. We have this small YouTube channel. It's not our primary focus, although I love doing things there now. And it's more just to be creative late at night when my wife and kid are at bed, and I'll throw up a stupid video called Right or Wrong, and I'll take a topic and just ask people if they're right or wrong, and I'll get like 20 comments to read on the show the next day. It's like kind of fun stuff. And then we put up some of these interviews with, hopefully with your permission, we can put this up on our YouTube channel later. Thank you. So, I watch this grow, and a couple videos, believe it or not, are like at 600,000-700,000 views. And for me, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I never would have thought, like never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that would have happened to this radio show online.
So here's my favorite thing to ask.
Okay, yeah.
What was your marketing budget for that?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like
$0.
$0. Exactly.
$0. So that's organic. Company is like when you. Comparison is the thief of joy. So when you compare to like, well, this guy got X million, so then I don't feel successful compared to that. No, that's a lot of views. That's a lot of people and companies and people and brands and they want that. And if you have videos with hundreds of thousands,
tell my bosses
views,
that how important that is because the SiriusXM mic is. You need to tell because honestly,
how hard that is.
Our channel has over 2 million views now. Like our channel, and like I actually want my bosses to know that it's leading people back to SiriusXM.
If they bought that, do you know how much money it would cost them?
See, this is what I want to know.
Lots.
Okay. Can you come do a presentation
on the low end, tens of thousands of dollars.
Great. I mean, and that
would be very untargeted. That would just be any views from anywhere. If you want like Canadians in a certain demographic, it gets exponentially more expensive.
Interesting. And I sort of understand it because I've done some Facebook boosts and things. Yeah. So that part, I sort of get the ad space that way. Now, the one thing I don't really understand, and it's sort of like you said, there you can't really measure it, but one of my videos I think has like, made me $2,000, say, and it's at that 600,000, whatever it is.
That's good.
But then one's like at like 300,000 hits, but it only made me like $8.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did. So like, is there some rationale behind that?
It's so insanely complicated. Google themselves probably don't even know.
Wow.
And they tweak it from day to day, right? And so I've had videos where the same video, if it gets 1,000 views, makes this much. And then a couple years later, the video got a different 1,000 views and it makes a different amount. It depends on stuff like how much of the video people watch. The longer, like if you make a 1-minute video and people watch the whole 1 minute, or if you make a 30-minute video and people watch the first 2 minutes and then click out, YouTube knows and they care.
Okay.
And they keep all that very secretive. I don't know, but they're definitely paying more if you are getting people to like watch and spend a lot of time on YouTube.
So now the deal you have with YouTube, you're considered a YouTube partner.
They used to call it that. Now it's just called a YouTube creator. And now anybody can monetize.
Anyone can monetize. So it didn't start off that way.
Any single possible person listening right now, you could upload a YouTube video today. You can click a little $sign. There's some stuff that you have to fill out, but you could technically be monetized. There's no barrier of entry. You don't need to do a thing. You don't need to give anybody a hand job. Like it doesn't matter. You can do it now and be making fractions of pennies by the time you go to bed.
Yes, and who knows though if you could be the next viral video. You still never know. Jay brought it up to me once when because I'm fascinated by the YouTube world, and I tell anyone who's creative and needs some sort of outlet, do it. Do it consistently because it could pick up for you. It really can. And more importantly, you're gonna if you're that type of person, it'll be calming for you. It's kind of it's relaxing. You might have a stressful day and then you go make a video and you kind of like unwind by doing that. That's sort of the example that I like to use.
It's creating art.
But you're creating art. And people now look at it much more like that as opposed to like, oh, you're just putting up a video on YouTube. No, it's like
I still got a lot of that.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
It's changed for me. When I watch the success of you guys, I have so much fucking respect for you.
Once they start watching, then they understand it. But see, I try not to be too pretentious about it, but because I care so much about that film, I'm always trying to make my best video. And the word that I've coined for it, and I've used this when I speak in the past couple of years, is that a lot of YouTube is maybe kind of pointless, kind of fluffy, kind of whatever. I call it non-tent because it's not content. And I think a lot of the stuff on YouTube and a lot of the most popular stuff is non-tent. When you have some hot teenager with good hair and good teeth talking about nothing, just nothing, and also buy my book and give me money, and I'm very happy for them. and I understand if maybe most people don't care. I couldn't sleep like that. I couldn't go to sleep at night like that. I don't care how many views, and I'm just being pretentious, I know, but I don't care how many views the videos get. To hear it's like, oh, I looked at the video and the quality was like, wow. That's more important to me than anything.
And honestly, and I'm not just saying this, Corey Vidal, who joins us, by the way, on the program brought to you by Pizza. I'm not just saying this because you're here. Your videos are so well done. Go to just Corey Vidal, right? Like and there's a EY, it's COREYVIDAL. And go and check him out when he puts himself in scenes at a bar, in a Star Wars bar. Like I actually got so to talk about this is my favorite video. It's the coolest.
Disney. So I made Star Wars fan videos for years and years and years and years. And when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they reached out and said, "Do you want to make official Star Wars videos with us?" They flew my crew and I down to Burbank, California. We went on the Disney lot on the actual set of Star Wars. We got to film for a week. We got to edit for months. We got to use John Williams' music with permission on my YouTube channel. They sent me alien sound effects and stuff, and I got to edit and throw in like not just sound effects ripped from the internet somewhere, but they like sent me, I requested custom lightsaber sounds and they made them for me. And it was like, I was like trying not to cry working on this video for like 5 months.
Or blow your load. But
it was incredible.
Holy fuck, dude. That accomplishment alone, like forget about views, subscribers, whatever. Like that's one of the coolest things that could ever happen to anybody.
Yeah. That for me, it's all about that. And they brought me out to the world premiere of Star Wars Episode 7. And while I was there, I swear to God, this is true. I have this recorded in a video. After Episode 7, at the actual world premiere, I bumped into J.J. Abrams. And he said, "Oh my God, I love your Star Wars videos." And I was like, I put on like a serious face, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I also love your Star Wars video." And then I went to the bathroom and I just cried, just ugly crying, not cute, not it wasn't like cute and sweet. It was like,
you just got dumped.
No.
Good for you. What a very nice story. Now, I mean, with you doing this and monetizing YouTube and doing well and making these videos, have people started to approach you to do more mainstream stuff? Is that part of the goal now?
For years.
Could you get away?
Every possible Canadian media company, and we're not going to name any names. Let's just assume it's all of them.
Yeah, sure.
They've all offered me a TV show.
Okay.
And it's not that they don't understand me. It's actually that they don't understand YouTube. Because
no one understands. They're fucking dinosaurs. They're dying. I'm going to say it.
I got to be careful.
I won't be careful.
I work with them.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of these big production houses and a lot of these major networks have no grasp of the reach and the powerful content that can be engaging and compelling and then obviously monetized for advertisers. Mm-hmm. They do not get it. Mm-hmm. They refuse to get the importance of this world and this space. And I think part of it is maybe they do get it, but they're protecting their world that's dying as much as they can as well.
You know what I like about talking with you is so every once in a while I'll end up on the news for whatever, and the person with the perfect hair will sit down and they'll be like, "So what are your plans? What are you going to do after YouTube? What is this building up to?"
Fucking idiots. Sorry.
And I'm like, no, this is it.
Yes.
YouTube isn't leading to blank. Listen, I have 12 full-time staff. We make Star Wars videos for a living, and we get paid. I'm sorry, we get paid really well. And I could not be happier. I couldn't be more free. And I have the freedom to, if I want to, hit record, say whatever I want, upload it to YouTube, and have it live in 20 minutes. And I've done that. So to take that and try to package it and put it on television and constrain it to a certain time slot and a certain length, and it has to be 22 minutes, and you need to break. I have YouTube videos that are 60 seconds. I have a YouTube video that's 2.5 hours long of me talking, looking at a camera and talking for 2.5 hours, and it sounds boring as hell. I think it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, tens of thousands of people have actually watched it.
You know, the process alone, the TV process is like they move like in slow motion. It makes no sense. And then you have to, and this is the business side of you, which is a great thing, Corey, is that you start, I know what you're doing and you're being kind about it, but you're weighing also your cost versus time versus, why am I going to go and work for $80,000 on a TV series that's going to take 6 months of my life? When, I'm going to pay a staff 5 times that, and we're going to have fun doing it and be control of all the content. Like
we have a blast.
Oh, it must be
YouTube
great.
is so much fun to just sit around with your buddies and say, what stupid or funny or cool thing can we film? And can we collaborate with someone? Maybe we can't do blank. Maybe you can't do effects, but you want to be in a lightsaber fight and you collaborate with me.
Can I be in one, by the way?
Look, we can start talking about it. That's the fun, is that I can just say yes. Yeah. And we can just do it.
I would love that.
And there's no rules or directors or producers. All of my videos are family friendly because of working with Disney.
Good
but even before that, I just grew up like that. I didn't ever want to swear in any videos or whatever. But we can do whatever we want, and it's freaking fun, man.
Yeah.
We just get to travel around and shoot videos. It sounds like a dream, and I'm waiting to wake up from it. But YouTube keeps getting more popular. It keeps getting bigger. And you know, I'll if I'm being talked about or criticized in some type of interview, they'll be like, well, what if you wake up tomorrow and all of this is gone? Google is now, about 3 or 4 months ago, became the most profitable business on the planet. They passed Apple and they've passed Exxon. There is no company on the world with more money than Google. It does not exist. So any other job you might have is more likely to potentially go out of business.
It's so funny how people look at it like that. That completely cracks me up. My job's not safe. Your job is construction.
My job is not safe.
No. But your job is safe because you're at least doing it. Like you're putting your job is safe. I'm saying everyone else's job isn't really safe if we have a boss. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or even if we're running our own company, you have
nobody
this
can
platform.
fire you from your YouTube channel.
No one. And there are some things though, like copyright things.
Yep.
So, like, do they ever ban any videos for content, like for hate speech and stuff? Has that ever happened?
That's pretty rare. Now, so here's what I would say: you can do whatever you want. Now, I pose a question: do you want to make money? If the answer is yes, now there's going to be some limitations. Don't use copyrighted stuff that's not yours. So no, we can't just go grab whatever song we want and throw it in the background because we don't own that song. Even if, we're only using 10 seconds of it or 30 seconds, or we're giving them credit and we don't own that song. And we got to respect that copyright, just like you wouldn't want somebody taking your stuff for free and throwing it in whatever. So
I might not mind. It's more promotion.
And so you have to learn a bit about that. You have to learn a bit about the business.
Where do you learn about that stuff?
Trial and error. The Google help, parts of the page. YouTube Space Toronto. Listening to YouTubers talk, going to YouTube events, going to industry days. It can get really boring. It just depends on how much do you want to learn. Now, at the same time, I'm a YouTube partner. You and I could record a cover today and upload it and then just not monetize it.
Oh, okay. So you just don't click on that dollar button.
Yeah.
So if you could have songs in your videos, you just can never monetize those.
Yeah, most songs, yeah.
Beatles, they pull Beatles ones, I think.
Every once in a while, nowadays it's more and more rare. There are companies that or artists or labels that don't want, even if you're not monetizing it, they're like, hey, you can't use that. That's more and more rare all the time. Back in 2008, there was a time when Warner just took down everything. Just everything.
Really?
They just pulled hundreds of thousands of videos in a day. And I had a couple videos that went down because of it. And then a couple years later, they sorted out a deal with YouTube and my video actually came back.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You mentioned about YouTube conferences. You are the founder of one called...
Good segue.
Yeah, I'm good though. Listen, I'm meant to be in radio. That's the only thing I'm good at is talking and interviewing and bringing out that. Tell us about Bufferfest.
Okay, so let's just... I'm going to exaggerate here. Let's pretend I'm this super pretentious douche who thinks so highly of himself. Oh my God, I think my videos are so great. When I go to YouTube events, like conferences and conventions, it's a lot of panels or meetups or expo halls or whatever. You just think Fan Expo or Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great that those exist. That's just not what fulfills me at the end of the day. I don't have those screaming teenage fangirls. That's not my type of audience, and I'm not being humble. I actually don't have those. My audience is a little bit older, kind of nerdier, college kids. That's just kind of my demographic. So when I go to these YouTube
that's a very marketable demographic, by the way. So
my audience is more like me. So I'm not like talking, I'm almost 30 and I'm not talking down to like 16-year-olds and saying, buy my merch. I'm, talking to like, hey, you relate to me. Like, let's geek out over like the new Star Wars movie. And I'm eventually going to morph into like the nerd dad. Like, that's just, cool. I know that's who I'm going to be and I'm fine with that. And so going to like fan expos and Comic Cons and whatever, those are great. Those are a lot of fun. It just didn't really fulfill me in the way that when I go to TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival. I love red carpets, man. I love theaters. I love that type of celebrity. I like tuxedos and suits and like, nice venues like the Roy Thompson Hall. Like that, I get really excited about that. I love TIFF like so much. And so I was going year after year. I mean, I've always gone. In 2011, there was this little pang of jealousy, but in like a very inspiring way. Like, man, I want that. No, I don't have like a feature-length film, but we spent 6 months on this video. Yeah, it's only 5 minutes long, but I have thousands of videos. And I know other YouTubers, not all of them, but some that spend months or years on videos. And so we invented this YouTube event called Buffer Festival. And it's not like it's like the Canadian YouTube event. That's not what it's meant to be. So in the States, they have like VidCon, and that's the biggest one. It's not, or you went to Playlist Live. It's not just meant to be like, oh, it's the Canadian one of those. It's cool because we're in Canada. It's very cool that we're in Canada, but even just on an international scale, it's just different. Because I think the conventions, those are easy and they make sense. Because when you look at the typical YouTube stuff, I think it does fit that. But me with the pretentious douchey jerk with the quality that I care about.
Another film quality.
I want my videos in a theater.
Wow.
I just want that. I just want I want that rush. And with YouTube, there is a bit of disappointment in working on a video for 6 months with dozens of people, like literally, big crews and post-production, and I'll have over 100 people. I'll have my video pass through 100 people's hands. And then when you're ready to upload it, you click upload and you watch it upload. And then it hits 100%. And then you hit refresh. And it has 10,000 views. And you're just sitting at a computer. And you get thousands of comments. And you're sitting there in silence. I'm really exaggerating and dramaticizing how, negative it could be. It could be a bit lonely. Versus...
Dude, I love how open you are. Because I've always thought that... No, but I've always thought that some YouTube...
I'll tell you whatever you want.
No, but because to me, my only fear with some YouTube stars... is that loneliness without the camera talking back. They've actually, and some I know, and I'm not going to say who, but some become difficult because of that in a way. They become a bit interesting, a little bit more introverted as extroverted as they appear on their cameras. But because there a lot of this one-on-one stuff.
Starting as introverts.
Yes.
I'm an introvert who got good at a camera, who hit record, who talked to a camera, who stumbled and screwed up what I said and talked for an hour.
Interesting.
And then I stare at myself.
Yeah.
And I edit it and I hate it. So I only leave. It's like when you. So I only leave a little bit. It's like when you take a selfie and you take 100 of them. I mean, I'm not taking 100, but just imagine that.
Oh, it's nonstop.
Whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, and you take 100 and then you get the one perfect one, and then maybe you're face tuning and removing your zits, and you show the perfect version of yourself. And that's true of Facebook or Instagram, and I think it's very true of YouTube.
But what I like what you're doing is you're developing it into a let's get this interaction. Let's show us as stars, but in an environment where you're appreciating not just because we talked in a camera a certain way, but because we produced something that you loved, and let's go do a Q&A after about it, and let's have some interaction about it other than just through a vlog or something. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
I think I didn't know what Buffer Festival was. My presumption was it was just like a VidCon.
Yeah.
So I hope I can come to you. No, exactly. It's different. It's different.
It's different. Yeah.
I hope I can
and
come
we
to
say
that
with
too.
the questions like, and it happens this year, and I instruct like the moderators. You get the 12-year-old fan girls and boys. It's not their fault. They're excited. They're 12, and they'll be like, "How do you do your hair? Are you dating this person?" It's not. I don't want to fault them for asking, but that's what happens at VidCon and Playlist Live. I get it. And you get the teenagers get mobbed, and it's fine.
No, it's great. It serves a purpose.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But at Buffer Festival, we're like, no, I'm sorry, you're not allowed asking a question like that. Like, we keep it video related.
It's the art.
Yeah,
it's the art of it.
Ask me about my camera and lenses.
Do you have moderators? Do you have panels of moderators?
And I want to talk about how I spent a week and a half on the sparks when the lightsaber hit the table, and how I talked to 4 people that worked at ILM. And I actually went up the chains at ILM and said, hey, I need to know what are the sparks that you guys used, what plugins and this and that, and what were the theories behind how you did this in Star Wars Episode 3, and I've broken down these. And I nerd out. And people from ILM were like emailing me back. And I think that's fascinating versus who are you dating?
Yeah. No, it's great. Now, how do you recruit films to get in the festival?
So Buffer Festival, we kind of start with a bit of that barrier there to say we're not just looking for popular YouTubers. It's for popular and non-popular, and that's very subjective anyways. But we're looking for the highest quality content. And when you're dealing with that issue of scale, you can't really write down rules that a robot could just decide. You need to have people just look at it. And so we have a team of people, my team, my staff.
Same way you would enter into TIFF.
Yep. And we watch it, and we are watching YouTube all the time. And when people are making like really good videos, really clever, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to have a great camera. You can have a crap camera and make an incredible video. You can have a $100 camera and say something that changes the world. I don't want to be too like cheesy here, but the actual cinematography doesn't matter. But there's a certain something that's like, this is like a great video,
something that grabs you.
Yeah, and we kind of have this private little checklist, but it's not black and white, and we have to really decide, do we want this creator here? Are these the types of videos? And for the public, I think it makes their life easier because YouTube can be so daunting and intimidating. We kind of step in as curators.
Yeah.
So for somebody to say, hey, I don't really know YouTube, Buffer's probably not the event for me, I would almost say the complete opposite. We have gone and specifically curated and found the best creators. So when you go to a show, we have a show just the Canadians. There's just all the Canadian YouTubers. Or, there's like fashion, lifestyle, beauty, makeup. There's like gaming. Or there's, the short films specifically. There's travel and adventure or video games. So if you want to learn about something like that, we have curated, we think, and we're putting our name on, these are the best people and the best videos, and they're premiering new videos. We had over 200 premieres last year.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Thank you very much.
That's really cool. So when does that happen this year?
This October 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
And in Toronto?
Yeah, here in Toronto.
And is there a goal to ever maybe do another one in the States?
I don't know if they need it. The Americans are coming here, and I like that.
Yeah, it is cool.
The LA-based YouTubers are going to VidCon in LA. And so when we first started throwing Buffer a couple years ago, they were excited. Like some of them didn't have their passports, and they're like, "I'm so sick of everything being in LA."
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, "Wow, LA, cool." That's
you're from St. Catharines.
Yeah.
And now living in Toronto.
Yeah, here in Toronto. I actually moved like in the city proper as of a couple months ago.
All right, man. Yeah.
I'm pumped to be here.
Are you single?
I am.
Oh
actually.
yeah. You'll have some fun.
I'm walking
Toronto.
around downtown with my dogs. It's fun.
Do you? I don't know how much time you have, and
I got all the time in the world.
Okay, great. No, let's talk for a few more minutes and then I'll take a break, because I really do love this world. So, my Siri's talking to me. Who are YouTubers that you're friends with? Are you like? Is there
kind of the original?
Cliquey? Yeah.
So if you go back into 2006 through 2012, YouTube was so small. Right? So small. So there were YouTube events in 2008, 2009, and all of the YouTubers who make a living off of YouTube would go, and it's like 100 people. So we all knew each other, right? Like if there were, 5 radio stations in Canada, period, you would probably know everybody.
I'd know all those douchebags for sure.
You would know it. And so that's how YouTube was more so in the early days. So all of the YouTubers knew each other. And back in 2008, I met everybody. Then it was around 2012, 2013 where it was like, who the hell are all these gaming people? Or all these beauty videos that are massive, and I don't know them and I don't relate. And then I started getting a little bit older. It was like, wait, why? These people are young. Like I'm like 25, but this kid's like 15. And then it took a couple years to like realize that. And now I wouldn't say it's cliquey, but to say YouTube now just means internet video. And so when you throw an event for YouTube, it would kind of like be throwing an event for music. Do you like music?
Yeah, it's a big, huge spectrum.
Come to Music Fest.
Interesting.
And you have like 500 different types of people there. It's too many to know about like the pop music and the folk and the death metal and the emo, whatever. It's in country. It's a lot. It's too much.
So are you friends with like the Furious Pete's and the Just Rains?
Yeah, I've known
and
Pete forever. Yeah, all the Canadians know each other.
All the
sure.
Canadians.
Yeah.
And are you guys all friendly?
Oh yeah, like texting like daily. Yeah,
is there competition ever amongst you guys?
No, there isn't, because if you got 1 billion views tomorrow, I don't make any less money.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me at all. We're not competing for views. And in fact, if you got 1 billion views tomorrow, there might be a chance that some of those even trickle my way. So it doesn't matter whether Matt Santoro has 10,000 subscribers, which is what he had when I met him. Now he has like 6 million.
Jesus.
And we live next door to each other.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's too funny. Yeah, I mean, listen, Matt's gone through some stuff. How's he keeping up? How's he doing?
We talk. When we get together, I give him positive encouragement, but we also just kind of talk about work and YouTube and life. I think there's too much to be excited about.
Yes.
And with that level of attention, I think there's always going to be negative stuff. Everybody's going to kind of have their own thing.
Sure.
But if you keep busy, which is what I try to do,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, you just move forward. You don't look back.
Yeah,
you just keep a as they say, chin up and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, they say small minds talk about people.
Yeah.
Average minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas.
Wow.
And so I love to get together, and we talk about like what it means and the cool things that we're doing, and I don't know.
No, it's inspirational. And because we're kind of a program that talks about pop culture and anything that's kind of entertaining at the moment with this big, huge, obviously vast array of different topics that come in on the daily. One that seems to keep coming up, and one that we accidentally got involved in, was kind of like YouTube drama. Mm-hmm. And the YouTube drama now, where we don't really do anything regarding it, but it's like, it's all I see. I see this Keemstar guy. I see like people trying to throw everyone under the bus. I see fact checking, all this kind of stuff, relationship problems, all this kind of stuff. The one thing I hear from YouTubers is this wasn't how YouTube was meant to be.
Right.
But in actuality, it still could be reality TV, which it is. That's just one of those other sections. Do you agree with that? Does it upset you? Does it bother you, Corey Vidal?
Let me ask you a weird question. How often do you listen to the radio? Can I get you to answer honestly?
Like honestly, for 5 minutes a day.
Because you're busy, right? Because you're a busy guy.
5 minutes a day when I drive.
It's disappointing in me, but the more YouTube I make, the less YouTube I watch.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I start feeling out of touch, and I go on YouTube and I'm like, who are these people? And I just kind of care less. It's so big that I have my friends, and maybe we are a clique. There's like the 200-300 YouTubers I know. And I know what they're up to, and I like them. Like, I think they're like good people. I care about them. I've known them for like 7, 8, 9 years.
You've all grown together.
Yeah, we've kind of grown up together. It was almost like camp, and we saw each other a couple times a year. So when there's channels that are drama, I don't care, because there's channels that are gaming, and I don't care. So I actually haven't watched any of it, and I've barely seen a little bit on Twitter. Wow, this is like so dramatic, or everybody's talking about it. And I don't even feel the need to inform myself. I would rather be on the radio with you and go film. And I feel like I'm kind of a bullcrap answer.
No, it's it's an honest answer. It's like, I just don't know what's going on because I'm too busy doing my own stuff.
Yeah, but it's like, that's actually true. And so, and I even see it in the YouTubers. So, I actually don't know the videos being made about like Matt Santoro, some girlfriend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I know he's like stupidly busy.
Yes.
He's like flying every other day if you follow him on Instagram. And when I talked to him, we had dinner last week, and Homeboy's like so busy and so tired. And then it's like, I got to go to bed, wake up and fly here and shoot this. That's very inspiring, very exciting.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Does this ever happen to you guys? Because the more content you put out there, and obviously the more views you get, the more money you make, and the more staff you can pay, the more.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the goal.
If everything's working properly, then yes.
Is it tough to ever compartmentalize and just go, fuck, I don't want to make a video for a couple weeks, but if I don't, then actually, I can't maybe make more money than
I've done it. I did. At the end of the day, I'm selfish enough that I do really care about my happiness more so than like When I was younger, totally. I was so addicted to the internet. YouTube is the only thing in my entire life. I'm the kind of guy who can't look you in the eye because I'm staring at my phone. I was one of those jerks, and I still kind of am, and I'm just obsessed with it. Obsessed. Check my views, check my comments. And then it got to the point where there was too many comments to read. And you can only read so many comments before you're reading the same thing over and over. There's only about 100 different comments someone could theoretically leave. There's only 30 ways of people saying they find you attractive and 30 ways of saying that you're hideous. And if you have millions of comments on YouTube, you're just kind of reading the same thing.
It's redundant at that point.
It becomes redundant. And it was around 2010, and I've told my audience this, and I'm not scared to admit it, I just stopped reading comments. Because if you start making videos that your fans want, I think you start watering stuff down. Quentin Tarantino is a big inspiration for me. He said that, so do you know his story about he grew up and he just loved film? He
worked at a video store.
He worked at a video store. So Quentin Tarantino said the type of movie that he wanted to sit in a theater and watch didn't exist. So he had to go make it. So for me, I love watching lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I go on YouTube and I watch them and I think it's great, and I love like action and
especially when the effects and the quality is it's
I watch so many YouTube. I've seen probably all of them, and I'm regularly searching for more. So I enjoy Star Wars lightsaber effects. So I shoot Star Wars for me. And in 2005, Star Wars Episode 3 came out and it was done. And they didn't announce new Star Wars till 2012. And I spent 7 years making Star Wars videos because I freaking love Star Wars that much that I just wanted more. And so if you start worrying like, oh, I hope people like blank, you're just gonna you're gonna get anxious, and you're gonna second guess yourself. And I do know a lot of YouTubers that are like kind of anxious or kind of depressed or kind of obsessive, or people are tweeting this about me, and it sucks. And I would agree, like the criticism is like, is this healthy? And it depends on the person.
I as an older guy and now a father, and I look at some of these younger YouTube guys with so much success. I mean, like at the peak of my radio days, we would die for tens of thousands of comments on one thing we did. It would, that would be considered the biggest success story in all of radio if you got that, or phone calls that just didn't stop coming in and that kind of stuff. It's rare in a lot of mediums. And when I look at these young guys who are doing it, the one thing I hope, and this is actually comes from a very compassionate place, is that as much peak fame as you can have and as many comments and as much love as you can, and then obviously on the other hand, that hate, that opposite extreme where people are just fucking weird.
Especially in YouTube comments.
Why are they so ruthless? I don't get it. But anyway, like if you don't like it, just move on. But whatever. I hope that they can remain, the word I'm looking for isn't normal, but I hope that they can remain just pleased with everything they've accomplished and not too stressed to keep chasing more stardom, because a lot of depression can lead to that. And that's sort of like, I always look at people like, just if you can make this a career, and even if that career, like Sylvester Stallone was out of movies for 20 years and came back into movies, that type of thing, like it will still come again. So I hope that they can remain grounded and then look at longevity, not instant success, and not need to go and grow that instant success. Do you think, is that possible, do you think, in your world?
I think so. I kind of had a bit of a burnout late 2013. I was working too much. In the year, I ended up having my assistant check, and I was home for less than 100 days. In my own bed. And I had spent 6 months in LA, and we had traveled here and there and whatever. And I thought I was happy, and I was miserable. And I knew something was wrong because I got this amazing opportunity with this travel company, Contiki, to go to Thailand, Australia, and New Zealand. And I know I keep saying this, but what a selfish, pretentious asshole to be in Australia and be miserable.
Yeah.
To be making money and be miserable, to work for myself. And I wouldn't say I hated my life. I wasn't suicidal. I was just empty. I was laying in bed, staring at my phone. I wasn't happy. Actually, this is kind of the first time I've ever really, really shared this. And it was like that for a long time. It wasn't like, I was kind of sad for an afternoon. It was like for 6 months, I didn't want to get out of bed. like for a hard, long 6 months. And I went, I saw a doctor, and he started talking to me about like my ADHD and depression, and I started taking a pill. It didn't really work. I got into meditation. That helped a lot. It didn't solve it. Pills helped, but didn't solve it. It's not one thing. It's your entire life. And I wasn't doing anything to make me happy. I was doing things to get views. So I ended up spending about a year really investigating, looking into myself, and I started making less videos. I started caring a little less. I was lucky enough I got to keep the career, and I ended up peacing out. And I said, you know what? I made a video and I said, I can't do this every day. I'm gonna go to India and turn off my phone for 3 months.
Because that's what people do in real jobs. Yeah. They get, hopefully 2-3 weeks off in the summer and don't think about it. You know, I'm proud of you that you did that. So how was that experience for you?
The Hollywood version would be like, it was so incredible. Here's what I want to tell you. It was so incredible. It changed my life. I didn't use my phone and it was so healthy. That's what you want to hear, right? After I tell you that. That's true for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then I drank some water I shouldn't have drank. Oh, man.
What?
I was in the hospital for 2 months.
Oh, fuck.
I lost 40 pounds. I had to fly emergency home to Toronto, went to a hospital, and I was in the hospital for weeks.
That's God's way of telling you you should be making videos, man.
And then I laid in the hospital and stared at my phone. But no, I'm actually still glad I went. Like I'm really, it was the right thing. I wish it was like a nice little bow on the end, and it still is. If I didn't tell you that, and I never told my audience that. This is the first time I've ever shared this publicly.
Wow.
And I was sick, and I lost and people are like, you lost a lot of weight in India, and I'm like, yeah, I did. It's the Indian diet. Man, I got so insanely sick.
Oh my God! But you look great. So obviously,
I'm fine now.
You're a great guy. I mean, great personality, great energy, huge success. The quality of your videos are bar none the best. Like I said when we first talked or started the interview, and it's Jay and Roddy. I've become very obsessed with this YouTube world to the point where I'm even kind of working with guys, helping them get integrated sponsorships and stuff. And the one thing I hope as I get to know you, all of you, within the Canadian realm, that I as advice, like I hope I can be there as a mentor, just to be like, hey guys, chill out. And I love that you've done it, and I hope you can pass that down to the other ones too, because a lot of them are going a bit nuts, and I want them to chill out, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth that next 2 million views. It's not like those will come. Think about 10 years from now. So it's great success stories, but I don't want that burnout, that sadness. I don't want that to come to people.
And it was there, and now it's gone. And it doesn't mean I'm invincible. It doesn't mean that it might not come back if I lose track of my goals. But I'm very happy with my friends. We get to make videos, and it's
amazing, man.
This past year has been probably the happiest I've been, and I'm making way less videos and getting less views, and I am okay with
Good for you. I mean, and that's an amazing revelation for you to share with people, because that will be inspiring within your community. Because people need to hear that stuff, and I'm serious. I see people going nuts already when you're like. I'm worried for and guys, and I get it's a lot of fame, but
it's too much.
Like even Clooney only does one movie a year, maybe. Like he can, that would be like him. I got to get and do another movie now, and there's chill out.
And bands, they will work on albums, and they'll go on tours, and they'll do all the press, and then they'll take a break for 6 months.
Exactly.
And it's only 6 months. That's a lot. You need to make sure that you have income. You need to make sure that you're working or whatever, or that you're able to sustain yourself for that time. Not everybody has those luxuries. But Justin Timberlake just released a new song, right? That just popped in my head because it's very recent, and he hasn't had a new song in 4 years.
Yeah.
He's done a couple movies,
chilled out a bit.
Whatever.
A couple SNL skits, yeah, some fun,
and whatever.
And we'll leave it at this. I would imagine the analytic part of it would be very addicting, because they're so. It's just so on. It's so accurate. It's everything happening in real time, and that part of it. I would imagine is what's tough. Movie receipts. You don't find out for a week later, or in radio ratings, you don't find out once every quarter. It's instant. So that part of it, I would imagine being tough to get away from too.
It can be, because I know the second we're done. I know we're kind of wrapping it up here. The second we're done, I'm going to look at my phone, and if anybody tweeted about me during this, I'm going to read it all. And if somebody says something mean, I'm going to go look at their profile and see if they're an unhappy person. Or maybe, you know, what really sucks is when the haters like aren't angry people. Like I look at their profiles, like this guy is genuinely a pretty good guy and hates me. That's way worse. He's got like beautiful kids. What an asshole. It's only me he doesn't like. It's not like he hates everything.
Yeah, he really hates me. He's like, he praises things that shouldn't be praised. Well, you know what, man? You're a wonderful, engaging, compelling human being in real life, and it reflects in the quality and the content and everything you do in the YouTube world. And thank you so much, Corey Vidal, for your time. I really do appreciate this.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun.
This is the Todd Shapiro Show. This is the Todd Shapiro Show on SiriusXM Radio. You are listening to the Todd Shapiro Show. It wouldn't be my first choice.
And don't forget to subscribe now to our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Subscribe. Now. Hit the button. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Do it. Right there. Do it. Do it now. Subscribe. Quick. Quick, quick, quick. Hit the button. Hit the button. Hit the button. Go, 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 go. Go now. Now. Now.